Today, I am showing you how to upload material for annual and cumulative evaluations. Faculty will begin this process by considering that they need to upload three things for annual evaluation, and that is the annual summary of achievements for lecturers, any SOTs or SOLATes from classes they taught, and any direct observations, sometimes called peer observations, of teaching. To upload these materials this year, since we are using eFaculty for all evaluations, the faculty member will need to log into their eFaculty account, and they will need to go to the area where they can upload activities. So first, let me show you how you log into eFaculty. I'm at 1sjsu.edu. I'm going to find the eFaculty tile by doing a search, and there's eFaculty. I click on that, and through the single sign-on, I will be logged into my eFaculty account. I'm taken to a home page where, since of course I'm Senior Director of Faculty Affairs, you see a lot of different items that are related to faculty review this year. There will be an area where you will see any packets that have been created for you by reviewers, by your department for annual or cumulative evaluation. You can see here from a demonstration I did for range elevation that I had a packet that was ready to go for that evaluation. And this is where you will see the opportunity to link to reviewers when your department creates the case for your annual and or cumulative evaluations. The part that you're interested in now, and a part which you can update at any time, is the area called activities. This area is used by our tenured and tenure track faculty, and for the first time was used by lecturers this year for range elevation, and will now be used by lecturers for annual and cumulative evaluation. And it will also be used by tenured and tenure track faculty for post-tenure review and for probationary faculty mini review. It has multiple sections where you can enter information. Sections are organized by the review type. What type of review will you be undergoing? You will upload information for annual and cumulative evaluation in the first row of activities. There's a section that opens up which explains to you what you would upload in this section. For annual evaluation, this is where you will put your annual summary of achievements. For cumulative evaluation, one may upload all materials here if you like, but one could also upload all of the prior evaluations, and that's what cumulative evaluation does. It's a collection of prior evaluations, the ASA, the SOTs, and direct observations of teaching, and the evaluations of those things in prior cycles. You can add all of those under prior evaluations. Your SOTs for classes taught should be under classes taught at SJSU. We've uploaded all SOTs from spring 2013 to the present. And so sometime in January, the fall 2020 SOTs will also be uploaded and ready for your evaluations. Direct observations of teaching can be uploaded here under direct observations of teaching. And there's even a handy little guide that says how many direct observations one should get during each review cycle. There are other categories where faculty can upload anything they want at any time. And They can use it for various purposes. We also use eFaculty for other types of evaluations, but one can also create one's own Vita using the sections of eFaculty. For the purposes of annual evaluation, you're going to pay attention to review annual cumulative evaluation of lecturers. You're going to pay attention to classes taught at SJSU, and you're going to pay attention to direct observations of teaching. One can add an annual summary of achievements for lecturers one of two ways, and I'll show you both. You can start by hitting add. And there are going to be some questions surrounding the material you're trying to add. And one of the key questions will be, what are the start and stop semesters for the item that you're adding? The reason that those two questions are asked is that when we review, when we use eFaculty to review faculty, we gather information according to the date that is stamped on each of the items. So for annual evaluation in spring 2021, the review period is anything that happened in calendar year 2020. So for my annual summary of achievements, I will choose spring 2020, and I will end it with fall 2020. That's the period of review. I'm going to enter my name, James Lee. I'll enter my ID number, and I will enter my department. My old department was Justice Studies, so I'll just keep using that. And this is something new this year. We're asking that you tell the reviewers what your assignments were each semester. So we'll make something up for my case, since I honestly didn't teach anything this year. But I'll say that in spring 2020, I had an assignment that was teaching at 0.6 FTE. Let's say it's 3 classes. What this will tell the reviewers is that they're only going to evaluate you for teaching that semester. And let's say in fall 2020, I had a teaching assignment of 0.4. Maybe it was 2 classes. And I had advising of 0.2. That was another assignment. That would tell the reviewer that they should look at my teaching and they should look at service, because I was given an assignment of teaching and service. Now I can go here and enter, direct enter the explanations of what I did for teaching to add value to what I was doing for our university. I could also copy and paste information into that section. Under the faculty section, there's an area for lecturers, and there's an annual summary of achievements right here. It's in Word format because using Word allows for an easier upload to eFaculty, where reviewers can read expandable text boxes. Unfortunately, PDF text boxes sometimes cannot be read in eFaculty. So let me take the information I've already put on here, and I'll just copy and paste that into the description here. So there, I filled that one out, and I also have service, and I'll just copy and paste that one. And of course, I didn't have any research assignments, so I don't need to say anything there. The next question is this an accurate statement? Is it true to the best of my knowledge? On the paper form, we used to ask faculty to sign that statement. So we'll just say yes here. And we'll say save. And I've completed the annual summary of achievement. Now, of course, you saw that I've already filled out an annual summary of achievement, and I could have just uploaded that annual summary of achievement. To do that, I would have, so to just add directly a file, I would have started here and said add, and I would have gone down here to upload file. The annual summary of achievements, we upload, and I'm going to say save. Oh, it asks me about this attachment. What is the start semester or year? And so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to select spring 2020. The default is to have an ongoing, and you can leave it like that, or you could say it ends fall 2020. And now let's say save. So at this point, I have 2 annual summaries of achievement. And when the reviewers look at this, they'll say, why did he upload 2 annual summaries of achievement? Next thing you want to do is go to your classes taught at SJSU. There's some explanation of how we have policies around SOTs, that if you are allowed by policy to remove some SOTs, you could, according to the various rules. For example, in spring of 2020, since we had that sudden transition to all online classes due to COVID, faculty are allowed to not use any of the SOTs from that semester, or they can leave them all up if they want to. The place where you find your SOTs is underneath the class name. And to get to that, you click on the little blue pencil to the far right of the row for the class name. And it's not a very user-friendly system, but you can see there's a row for attachments for the class that I clicked on. And you can see a number offset from the course evaluation area. That number is a link to the SOT that you have uploaded, which was uploaded automatically by our great friends at IT. So if you don't see a number under course evaluation, that would indicate that you don't have a SOT. And if you needed to, you could add a SOT. If you see it that you have it in course eval, but it's not here, you could pull it out of course eval and you could upload it using the add function here. Since I already have a SOT, I'll show you that I would like to add a syllabus to this class, because the reviewers are reviewing the quality of my teaching, and I know that a syllabus might help them understand that class. So I'm going to choose to upload a syllabus, and I'm going to choose the file. Oh, I see it right here. I have it. Yes, that is it. I'm going to upload it now. So that file for the syllabus has now been uploaded here. If I happen to have uploaded the wrong one, I could delete it and start over again. So at this point, I'm going to save and go back. And there's no real clear indication that I have a SOT and a syllabus under this class, I would have to actually click on the little blue pencil to open that up and see that indeed I have those items here. And of course, to add an item, I would click add, and to delete an item, I would click on it and hit delete. So if I were removing this SOT, I would just click the round X box. The final section you need for direct observations of teaching is the direct observations of teaching tab. Now, as a lecturer, I might get one direct observation per year. Sometimes I might have 2 observations in the same calendar year. You can see here that there is a direct observation listed for spring 2020. I'm going to show you that I'm also going to add a direct observation for fall. I'm going to select fall 2020 as the date that's necessary for the system to know to pull this over. I'm going to tell it that the course was Justice Studies 152, and the title was Juvenile Delinquency and Justice. And the credit hours were 3. The enrollment was 35, and the modality was online. Now I'm going to upload the file associated with this class. JS Direct Observation Lee. Okay. Now I'm going to save this, and you'll see when we go back to the, oh, I should have said save and go back. When we go back here, you can see now that I have a direct observation for this class and that class. And I've done everything that's required of me to allow my department to do an annual evaluation. If I were preparing for a cumulative evaluation, had I been using eFaculty for the last several years, all of my material from my ASAs to my direct observations would all be in eFaculty. But then I would have to remember, oh, yes, I've been evaluated annually, and they need to see those annual evaluations also. So I need the comments from my department and from my dean. So I would go to prior evaluations, and I would upload the comments from my department and my dean just by hitting the add button, telling them that I started, let's say 6 years ago in fall, what was that, 2015? And the end semester would be spring 2021 is the last semester of my current appointment. And I'm just going to name these prior annual evaluations. Then what I will do is I will upload each of the sets of evaluations that have been provided to me. So I would go into my files, and I would find letters that have been provided me, and I would upload those by hitting the save button here. And then you could see that each one of them, after they are uploaded, will appear in the section called prior evaluations and reviews. For the cumulative evaluation, at that point, after uploading my prior evaluations, I would be finished with everything that I needed to do. My ASAs would be in here. If I were to upload all of those from the past 6 years, if I were to go to my SOTs, they should all be in here already from the past few years. And then my direct observations of teaching, I would need to get all of those from the period of review. If this is my first 3-year appointment that I'm going up for, my cumulative evaluation would be for 6 years. If this is a renewal 3-year appointment, then my evaluations will be for the last 3 years. So you upload all of those in this area. You will probably have to get those from your department staff. If you can't find them, maybe it's a good idea to ask as soon as possible, because some departments have these stored in paper, and they would need to go into campus perhaps and pull them out and scan them in for you. So giving them a little bit of lead time in this situation would be really nice. But here we are. We've done everything that we can do. Now we'll just wait for the department staff to create a case for us, and we will then inspect the materials to submit them for the department. If we want to look at the materials early, we can click on Vitas and Biosketches. We go to the area called Annual and Cumulative Evaluation of Lecturers, and we click that. The interface asks, what is the date range of this type of review? Well, the date range is going to be spring 2020 to fall 2020 for annual evaluation this year. And so we could then say refresh Vita. And this is the framework that will be viewed by your reviewers. Anything that you've entered into the activities on eFaculty that match that date range, spring 2020 to fall 2020, will be pulled in. I could export this, say to PDF, and I would get a copy of it to look at. This is what the reviewers would see. Notice, however, though, that the reviewers in this output don't appear to be seeing the direct observations and the SOTs and things. To see what the reviewers would see, you would need to click on the blue links and open the files using the blue eyeballs. As you'll see in a minute, the review in RPT opens all of those attachments up for the reviewers to see. So give me a moment and we'll create a review for annual evaluation, and you'll see what the reviewers will see. When a case is created by the department, the candidate will get an email indicating that an annual evaluation case has been formed. There's information with help for the candidate to allow them to go to our eFaculty training and help page to read about different components of the review. There's a link that goes to Interfolio. And if one is already signed in, one will go to the Your Packets page link to show you what it looks like at that point. One can view the packet as it will be, and you look at the view from the perspective of the reviewer, you'll see that there is a Vita, which shows the information that was direct entered into the system. There will also be attachments for any area of activities, any tab where one had entered information in the form of an attachment. So I'm going to open up a few of these tabs here on the left and show you that not only will reviewers see what was direct entered, but they will also be able to see the annual summary of achievements that I attached. They will be able to see the prior evaluations from prior committees, and they will be able to see and the syllabus attachment for classes 5. They will see the direct observations that were uploaded, and they will see that there was a journal article that I had uploaded into my eFaculty section, and there's an attachment for grants during that review period as well. So essentially, the reviewers see what's direct entered, and then they see attachments related to that. If one were doing cumulative evaluation, one would have put one's prior evaluations in here, and that would show up in an annual evaluation had you already entered a prior evaluation that is in the spring 20 to fall 20 time frame. So that's what reviewers will see. You're going to be asked to submit your packet when you're ready. When you think that you've uploaded everything that you need to upload, and the demonstration I showed had that, what you will do is regenerate. That regeneration should have the spring 2020, fall 2020 dates. Once you're finished regenerating, then you would click the submit button. When you hit submit, the first level reviewer on the other side will be able to go in and review your files. In the case of annual evaluation, that first level person will likely be the department analyst, so they can look over your documents to make sure that everything is in order prior to the department chair, or if you were getting a committee, prior to the department committee evaluating your materials. So I'm going to click submit, and that then opens up the packet for others to see that I am ready, that I finished everything that I need to do. Even if I had not submitted that packet, the reviewers or the department analysts on January 29th could go to your case. They would see that you had submitted your packet, so it is locked and it is ready for them to review. If before the submission deadline, you need for your materials to be edited, the department analyst could unlock the packet for you, and then you could go into your activities section and make changes. So you might want to change, the statement you made. You could go back to the Your Packets section. You would see that the analyst had opened it up again, that you could edit it, that it's unlocked. And so you can make changes, but if you do, make sure that you regenerate the packet before you submit it again. So at that point, once you've submitted, you've told the department that you're finished, you are able to move on with your life. The part that you play in the annual evaluation has been completed until the reviewers start sending you the reviews that they've made, and it gives you the opportunity to respond to them. If you do get a review and you need to make a response, you will get an email, and there will be instructions for you to allow you to upload a statement that will become part of the case. So future reviewers would see any of those optional responses that you make to any of the reviews. So they would just show up here after the recommendations that you've made some type of response to. So that will be all that you need to do as part of the review. Thank you for your interest in this important process and the fact that we're doing it through eFaculty. We appreciate your patience and cooperation as we run these reviews in this electronic format for the first time.